What's up, everybody? I'm Roger.
And I'm Jamil.
And this is Health-ish. He's health, I'm ish. This is practical tips, some fun stuff so you can get better at your health and fitness. For people who are not bodybuilders, we have an expert. If you haven't been watching the other previous episodes, just go back. We've made 2 already. Those are very super helpful. But today, we're going to talk about nutrition. One time I heard this phrase, Jamil. The person said, you cannot outwork a bad diet. And I really hated that because it applies to me. It applies to me. I was left hanging because it's true. But I've gotten in much better shape following something. It's a way of living.
Abs by August.
Called macros. And of all the different things that I've ever tried, this one is my favorite because you don't have to stop eating. Like most diets, it's like you wanna murder somebody by the second day. So hungry all the time. We've lost weight. Both my wife and I have lost weight. So would you explain to the people what macros are in a way that lay people can understand in layman terms?
Yeah, so macros are macronutrients. That's what macros stand for. And there are macronutrients and micronutrients that we're supposed to get in our body. So micronutrients refer to the vitamins and minerals that we're supposed to get and consume. Macronutrients are the 3 top nutrients that you see in a lot of people's diets, and those are composed of fats, carbs, and protein. So whenever you hear someone say macros, know that they're not focused on necessarily counting calories, but instead they're counting how many grams of carbs, fat, and protein that they're getting in their diet. The reason I like this is because I feel like it is easier for people to stick to and easier to make into a lifestyle. A lot of diets are restrictive by nature, and this one is not restrictive. It actually encourages for you to have fun and eat the foods that you love and enjoy in moderation, and that's kind of the best way to help.
That's very good, because when I by the way, we'll talk about the app in a moment because it's a short video. But when you see in the app, like right now, before I eat, I'm like, okay, I have 50 grams of fat for the day. So I'm looking at my chocolate. That's 6 grams of fat, right? I saw a pizza, and then I'm never eating that again. But you're like, okay, I've only eaten like 15 grams of fat today, so I can have a slice of pizza tonight. So it's not like I'm quitting everything I love to eat. I just eat less of it, and with a more
moderation.
Yeah, it's a more intentional process. I love it. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to give away, right, for 2 of you who comment and say I want it. We're going to give away 1 30-minute consultation, right? We'll have a training session, and then just talk about some diet, right, and macros with 2 people. It's a paid thing, but somebody's going to cover that cost of a professional can help you. So if this is you, you have to comment and say, I want it, and we'll just pick 2 at random. That makes sense? Right. Anything else about macros that people should know?
I can give you some general recommendations that bodybuilders take into consideration when it comes to macros. So if you wanted to get started on your own, you could take some of these tips and apply it to your diet now. Again, like you said, with the MyFitnessPal, if you can download that, that's a great way to track macros. It's a free app. Most times for bodybuilders, their diets are composed of 50 to 60% of their calories coming from carbs, 25 to 30% of their calories coming from protein, and then 15 to 30% of their calories coming from fat. So when you're making that macro ratio and those divisions and percentages, that's something good to take into consideration. So for example, real quick, when I'm looking at Roger and I'm deciding like, man, like what's his macros gonna look like, naturally I'm gonna make sure that his carbs are in between the 50 to 60% range when it comes to his overall calories. When I look at his fat, I'm going to say, man, like probably doesn't need a lot of that. So between 25 to 30% of the calories in his diet. 15 to 30%. And then for protein, 25 to 30%,
Okay.
depending on his size, his height, his build.
So what you're saying, what you just told the people right now is that I'm a bodybuilder, because when you thought. All right. And what questions do you have about macros? What questions do you have? We'll answer questions in some of the next videos. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Healthish.